Join me as I color a single super easy page in my new Color Your Way to Calm coloring book and take you on a journey of creating 9 gorgeous sparkly butterfly stickers. I'll take you through all the steps from coloring, decorating with glitter glue, fussy cutting them out of paper, adding them to sheets of double sticky tape, covering them with glossy packing tape, and finally giving them their finishing cut as adorable stickers ready for whatever your imagination can conjure. For detailed instructions, be sure to check out the step-by-step tutorial in the card above. I'm Angeliki and welcome to my studio. So here's the page we're going to be working with, and I've opened it up in the hardcover version that I have of this book, and that's definitely not what you want to do to make these stickers. You don't want to use a paperback or hardcover. You want a digital page that you can print out and not ruin your book. So to get the book, you just go to zazu.com. It's right there on the main page. Download it, and then you can print out the page as you normally would. A lot of these pages that I'm printing for stickers I print them out in miniature, right? But this one, just print it out normal, and you've got 9 little butterflies that you can color and decorate. Now, for this tutorial, I've kept the coloring and the decoration super simple, but you could actually do all kinds of really detailed, fancy design and drawing and doodling on here. You could really have a lot of fun. So what I'm using to color and decorate the butterflies, I'm using my alcohol markers. I use Ohuhu brand alcohol markers. I'm using glitter gel pens, and that brand is Sou Color, S-O-U Color, Sou Color glitter gel pens. I'm using acrylic paint pens. I'm using Graby. I love Graby. They're just so, smooth and creamy, and I love all the colors. I've got a set of 48. I highly recommend them. And then I'm using Stickles glitter glue, and I have a whole cookie jar full of all kinds of different colors, and I just adore them. So in this tutorial, I'm going to be showing you how to turn these into stickers, but you don't need to take it that far, right? You could color these up, give them a nice fussy cut, use them to decorate your art journals, your junk journals, all kinds of other mixed media or craft projects. Use them in collage. They're just so cute. You could make cards with them. You could use them to decorate your presents. I'm just a huge fan of putting coloring books to use, like coloring in them, right? I mean, I love my coloring books just to color, but also finding other creative uses for them. And that's why I'm such a huge proponent of getting a digital copy, because you can just, there's unlimited print and color. You can do so many different things. And it's a crowd pleaser too, right? I mean, you can print a whole bunch of pages for the whole family or your homeschooling group or your classroom or whatever that is, right? It's kind of an inexhaustible supply. And there's just so much creativity. I mean, you could just print out the pages and give them to your students or your kids and say, hey, what kind of creative ideas can you come up with this particular page? The other thing, which I will do, I haven't done it yet, but I will do, is take my digital coloring books and print them out on a watercolor paper, a really sturdy paper that I can just paint on, whether it's watercolor. I could even print it on craft paper and then use acrylic paints and just go to town up in my art studio, rather than what I currently do is work on these pages primarily in my coloring studio. So once you have your cute little butterflies decorated, colored however you want them, then you can move on to the glitter glue. Save that for the very, very end, right? Because as soon as you put the glitter glue down, you've got to set these aside and let them dry. If I'm doing a whole page, I usually leave it overnight, but this could dry sooner than that. because you're just putting a little bit, but just be careful. Don't start working with them and getting into the sticker making part until these are dry. Otherwise they're gonna smear and you're gonna ruin all your beautiful hard work. Yay, we're all ready to go. Here's how they turned out. A little close up. And next thing you do is give them a rough cut. Cut them out. I always call it like turning them into playing cards. So you just cut each of them out so that they're easier to work with when you start to do the fussy cut. And for this you can use just your regular large craft scissors and just cut right in the middle between them. And now we're gonna do the fussy cut, and for this you want to use a smaller craft scissors. I have another one in that ultimate guide video. You'll see I do a comparison of different scissors, and I have one that has a longer, thinner, narrower blades. It's a craft scissors that's intended for fussy cutting. But it turns out this little craft scissors that I'm using here, this little one, I like it even better because the blade is shorter and it pivots really nicely going around corners and stuff like that. So you don't need an expensive fancy pants thing. Just get a nice sharp little craft scissors and leave a little bit of the white around the perimeter of the image. I think it looks nice that way when you get to the finished sticker. I mean, you can do what you want. You are the queen or king of your domain. You do you, right? There's no limits here. I'm just giving a suggestion that you may want to try doing it that way first and then try some other options if you want to just cut right to the edge of the black line. I guess it just depends on what you're going to use these for. So we're about ready to begin turning them into stickers, and you can use parchment paper. I've got my ultimate guide video goes into that, and I have a short 6-minute video, another one that shows how to do that with parchment. But I have fallen in love with working with these full-size sheets of double sticky tape. I get mine on Amazon. You could probably get it at a local craft store or Staples, something like that. And they're more durable. That's what I like about them. So the backing doesn't come off as easily as the parchment backing does. So I prefer that. So that's what I'm using here. So basically you kind of separate it at the corner, you peel it back, you tape the corners, tape the edges, tape the sides as you peel off the top layer so it doesn't move. And now you've got a super sticky surface. So you've got to be careful. You've kind of got to puzzle out where you want to put your little images before you touch the paper, because otherwise it'll rip if you try to pull it back up. So here I was putting the butterflies down as part of a big batch of, this was part of a huge batch of like over 200 stickers that I was doing. And so I kind of pieced them in like a puzzle on a couple of the sheets, the first couple of sheets. And so you can move things around, move them upside down. You just don't want to get them too close to the edge or to an adjacent image, because when you cut them out, you're going to do another fussy cut, or you could just call it a finishing cut. It's not as fiddly as a fussy cut on paper. That final finishing cut, see, that one's too close. I think I noticed it when I was cutting it out on the edge there. I got that one a little bit too close. When you're doing that final finishing cut, you want to leave tape around the outer edge. So the transparent tape around the outer edge of that white outline. And you need to have room for both of the images that are adjacent to each other to do that. And So you just have to be careful. And then while I was doing this, I realized that there was a lot of space, kind of wasted space, that I didn't have room for a sticker, but I could use it for something else. And so I went and I got a bunch of my collage papers, and I have some of those stamps, like a hole punch, but it's in the shape of something like a heart or a star or a snowflake. And I went and started making hearts and stars out of some of my beautiful collage paper, and then filled them in. I'm not showing it here on this image, but I've filled them in, and that way I didn't waste any of the space. Then once you get everything where you want it, you take the glossy packing tape, just regular old packing tape, and cut off sheets and cover the whole thing up with a slight overlap for each layer, not layer, but row, right? And just keep it, just kind of, what I do is I hold it above until I get it the way I want, and then I touch down on one side and then smooth my hand across so that it's nice and smooth. Do the whole thing, and then I take it off the table and I cut around the perimeter just to kind of neaten things up. And then that whole sheet is going to feel like vinyl. It's going to feel like a vinyl decal. It's pretty cool. And so we're almost at the final step where we get to cut them out and turn them into their final finished sticker shape. So I do a rough cut, right? I use the big scissors and I cut them out into those little playing card shapes. And then I can stack them up and start to do the fussy cutting at my convenience. Now, I should stop calling this fussy cutting. It's really like a finishing cut, right? Because it's not very fiddly. You don't have to be precise, because that last edge that you're cutting out is going to be, for the most part, transparent. So it's not stressful or tedious. It's really fun. It goes quickly. And I usually kind of go around the outside and do some little squiggle indentations to capture the shape. And again, I use my little craft scissors, and it goes really, really fast. And it's so satisfying when you're done. It's like, yay, look at this gorgeous sparkly thing. Now, I'm not going to be sticking these onto anything yet, so you don't get to see that step. I'm saving these because the next thing that I'm going to be working on this week is these handmade sticker storybooks. Like, we could call it a sticker journal, a sticker storybook journal, something like that. I haven't seen anybody do this, but what I want is to take all these stickers and mount them onto cardstock or very lightweight cardboard, make them a lot more persistent. And then I will show some easy ways to create a little handmade book and to decorate different backgrounds like scenes, and then how to use these little sticker characters and objects, how to I think I'm probably going to use some Velcro and use it very delicately and strategically so that these little sticker cards, like paper dolls in a way, right? They can move around, they can be attached, they can move from one set of pages in the storybook to another, and the possibilities are endless. I mean, there's all kinds of storytelling that one could do. You could turn it into a mood board, all kinds of stuff. So that's coming up next. It's coming soon. Look at these pretty butterflies. You're going to see them reappear once I get to these little storybook journals. In the meantime, if you make these yourself, please leave a comment. I would love to see photos. Thank you so much for spending this time with me. Stay tuned for the next video in the queue. Happy coloring, happy sticker making. See you next time.